guys, we are back with another video on Duelist Nexus talking about cards that you might want to target on the cheap. Look, it is sneak peek weekend, meaning there are a lot of OTS stores that are doing Duelist Nexus tournaments over this weekend. Sign up for the tournament, you get some free packs. Well, you pay for them, but it's like the entry fee. So you get some free packs, you can buy some boxes. The point is, there's going to be some Duelist Nexus floating around out there over this weekend pretty early. So with that in mind, I want to talk about some cards that you might want to target that are pretty cheap, or you should be able to get them pretty cheap. So I am in a different location, took my youngest son crabbing, and so we are in the middle of a swamp trying to get as many crabs as we can and not get eaten by an alligator. That is the goal right there. So, sorry for the location change. Not the best background, but it'll do. And subscribe to the channel. We would love for you to be a part of the community. And hit that like button, helps us out tremendously. I'm going to jump right into these cards. But first, I want to remind you of why you want to do this. Why you want to target some of these lower profile cards early and get them on the cheap. So let me bring it up here. Right here. That card. That card right there. If you go back to our Darkwing Blast videos, in those videos I said, pick this card up. Get this card. It's a good card. You can get it on the cheap. This card went all the way like, let's see if I can get my mouse over here. Went all the way down to like $3. And now the card is shot up to like $9. Predominantly because of Labyrinth, but it is a very good card, and that's why you want to target these cards that are kind of under the radar, that might see play, might not. Just get them. You can get them for cheap by buying them, or what I like to do is have people throw them in on a trade. If you're pretty close, you say, well, you know, throw in the Destructive Daruma Cannon and you got a deal. And a lot of times people will do it because they don't value this card. So that's just a good reminder of, you know, the types of things that happen with these cards that go under the radar. So let's look at seven cards from this set that I think are pretty sneaky. You might want to grab them. They're pretty cool cards. And I'm going to start out right here with the Cobalt, the Blade Dragon. This card is actually pretty good. It is a 7, which means that it's going to work pretty nicely with Revolution Synchron. It's going to enable you to go up into, I think it's Crystal Wing, because you're going to be able to bring this out with Revolution Synchron, and then once you get this guy on the field, he allows you to pop a card that your opponent controls. Then Revolution Synchron comes back. You can go right up into an 8. It's a nice card. It's just a very useful card. And guess what? This card is a common. You can get this card for 25 cents. I'm not saying buy 100 of them, but I'm saying you might want to have one, because I can see this card seeing play, and this card is a prime example of a card that is going to get an OTS upgrade into super rare in OTS packs in the future. I think this is a very good card. This is a card I would definitely be targeting. Another card that I love, one of my favorite cards in this set. I just love these nasty cards that people hate playing against. I love floodgates. I know a lot of people don't, but I love them. I love cards like this. I love cards that do things that a lot of cards don't do. If you got a card on the field, now it does target. But if you got a card on the field that you're having a hard time with, and you don't want to see that card come back, this card enables you to put it in their spell trap zone as a continuous spell, or as a continuous spell. There's not a lot that people can do when they have one of their cards stuck in there. They can bring cards out of the graveyard. They can bring cards out of their deck. This is a way to get rid of a card that your opponent can't do a whole lot with. In addition to that, there is a new set coming out, Age of Overlord, that has an archetype in there that is going to be able to use this card. It's a pretty interesting archetype. I think it's really neat. So this card is in the future, I think, going to see more play. I think this card can go up. Now, I'm not saying pay $15 for it. That's what it's going on pre-sales. If you can snag this card for $7, $8, I think that's a pretty good deal, and I would try to do that. I would not be trying to pay the $15, $45 for a play set. Right now, you're just speculating on the card. But if you can get it for $7, $8 or a throw-in in a trade, I think that's the way to go. And you might be able to do that because this card isn't something that's on the radar because that deck isn't coming out until, I think, October. And, people are short-sighted. I would, have the long range in mind. Grab this card now so that you're not stuck paying a lot of money for it. I think it's a great card. I love it. It's probably in my top 3 cards in this set. All right, going over to here is one of my absolute favorite cards. We got Click and Echo. If you don't know what this card does, it's kind of like Ibly. You summon it to your opponent's side of the board, and they can't Synchro summon it away, they can't Exceed it away, they can't Fusion it away, they can Link it away, but they can't get rid of it a lot of ways. When you summon it to their field, they have to reveal their hand to you. And I think they want to keep their hand revealed as long as this sucker's on the board. It's kind of cool. I don't think they contribute it away either. Cannot be tributed either. So it does pose problems for people. I'm not saying that it's going to be a meta card, but look, it's 25 cents. It's a common in the set. I would grab a playset of this and just have it because it's an interesting card and it's cute as can be. Like, I just love these little shark guys or dolphins or whatever they are. Super cool. I think it's a great card to just go and just get a couple of them. People might just give them to you. I'm going to have so much of this set when I show up at my locals. It's just like, what commons do you want? What supers do you want? A lot of people will just give you commons and supers from the set. These would be some cards that I would go after just because I like the interesting mechanic of it. So it's one of my favorite cards in here. Just for fun. Another card that I would be looking at doing is Synchro Forceback, particularly if you're playing a Synchro deck that can kind of spam out a bunch of different Synchros. This is a great little card. It does target, which is unfortunate, but target monsters on the field up to the number of Synchro monsters with different names that you control. So if you've got 3 Synchro monsters out there on the board, you can play this card, target 3 monsters on your opponent's field, and return them to the hand. I think it's pretty cool. I think it's an interesting card. Again, I'm not saying that they're all going to be meta-relevant cards, but sometimes you just don't know what's coming down the pike. You don't know what's in store, and these might actually be very useful cards. And because the price is so cheap, that's what it really comes down to. The price is so cheap, and the chance that these cards could be played, it's worth it to me. So you're looking at $1 on this. I wouldn't even pay $1 for this card. But if you could grab 3 of them for $2, great deal. Great deal. Grab a playset for like $2. I don't think anybody's going to blink an eye giving you this super rare for $2. Or have people throw it in as a trade again. I think it's a great card worth looking at. The next card I want to talk about is a card that I refuse to even try and say its name, but it's basically Pot of Greed. It's a draw 2 card. Now, I know it does have some other parts to it. So send monsters from your hand or that are face up on the field to the graveyard so that the total levels equal 10. So this is at level 10, draw 2. It's an interesting card. I do know that this card you might have a harder time getting than the rest of these cards because people are kind of on this card. And I hesitated even putting it in here. But it is $10. I'm not saying pay $10 for it, but maybe $5, $5. See if you can get this card off of somebody. There's a lot of people that don't see any value in these generic spells and traps. So you might be able to snag this off of somebody for $5. If you can, I would do it. I would not be paying $30 for a playset of this. That is not what I'm telling you to do. I'm telling you to go in and get these cards on the cheap. A lot of times people are going to open this up and everybody wants Revolution Synchro. Everyone wants the Crimson Dragon. Everyone wants the Pearly or the Runic. And when they don't get them and they get these cards, they're disappointed and they're just looking, you know, a lot of times people are just going to be looking to get rid of them. And that's the time that you go in and you kind of start grabbing these cards up. So this is a card that I think is very good. The next card is Heda. Look, I have the same thing on the Charmers on everything. I try to have a play set of every Charmer and all the Channelers. I just do. I think that they're useful cards. Now, you may not ever find a use for it, but this card is going to be so cheap that you're going to just be able to pick this up practically for nothing. Again, don't buy these on pre-sale. Don't pay $3 for this card. Please don't do that. Don't pay $10 for a playset of this card. You're going to be able to go in and grab this card. You're going to be able to get a playset for $3. And if you can get a playset for $3, I would think about doing that. You might even be able to get it for $2. It's an ultra rare in the set. I think just having the Charmers is always a really good idea. Heda is my favorite of all of the Charmers. She is fire. Lots of fire support coming out right now. So I think she could be particularly useful, and I would try to get a playset on the cheap, not the $3. The last card I want to talk about is the, I never knew how to say this, Evil Sore. I just call him Lars because I think that's a great name. This is a very good card. And I know that I told you don't buy this card on pre-sales. And I'm still saying that. Do not buy this card on pre-sales for $13. That's ridiculous. I do think you're going to be able to get this card for around $5. These sorts of cards always fall out, and they fall out hard. But when this card does hit $5 and you can pick this card up, I would. Particularly if you're playing dinosaurs or reptiles, this is a very good card because it's 2 interruptions. If you have dinosaurs or reptiles attached to this card, you only have to detach 1. If you don't have dinosaurs or reptiles, you have to detach 2. So if you are playing dinosaurs or reptiles, this card will give you 2 interruptions. If you're not playing dinosaurs or reptiles, you still get a very nice interruption. This is a very good card. And a lot of what I'm telling you is not, this is a bad card or this is a great card. It's all about the price. And this is a great card. It's just not a $13 card. It's a great $5 card. If you can pick this card up for $5, a lot of people are going to look past this because they're going to open up their pack, and you know that this is going to be one of the worst secret rares that you can get in the packs. They're going to open this up. They're going to be disappointed. You can snag this card off of them for $5. It's a pretty good card. So those are the 7 cards that if I were you, I'd be looking at getting a playset that are cheap. I'm not talking about these big time cards that everybody's talking about. You already know that. You already know what the big chase cards in this set are. but what are some under the radar cards? I think those are 7 really good under the radar cards that if I were you on this sneak peek weekend, I would be trying to snag them off of people. My name is Todd from Ko2 Cards, and I am out of here. Gonna go catch some crabs.